Manchester United are looking very ambitious going into this summer transfer window, and that is something I've been asking my club to do for a while, because normally we're a mess. Normally we're really unorganised ahead of the summer window, but we're moving early for Cunha, we're making a few steps for Delap, but waiting on his decision. We want to get deals done early, but it's very much like we want 3 attacking additions is what's being reported by Sky, and 2 of them are proper players, which is really exciting. We're going to dive into that. But also just other stuff, like they want to spend, they want to do this, they want to do that. They're almost planning like a club that is going to get some money through maybe winning the Europa League and being in Champions League football next season. Maybe there's some confidence they believe Amorim can do it. Now, Cunha looks like the most likely deal to be done first, but we reported in my live show earlier today and yesterday that Arsenal had some growing interest in Cunha, had some meetings with him, and a few people were getting nervy, but it looks like still, despite the recent talks of Arsenal, Cunha wants Manchester United, would reject Arsenal for Manchester United. He's drawn to the project. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the 3 new attacking signings that United want to bring in. We'll talk about that, why that is good, why that is exciting. We're going to talk about one of the young stars at Barcelona that we're watching. We're going to talk about Casemiro and the latest on Anthony and his future. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup, where on the channel we do a 10-minute video every day, rounding up all the latest Manchester United news that you need to know, covering only what's come from, so what, credible journalists. If it's an uncredible journalist, I will say. So if you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. And yeah, let's get into it. So the first story we're covering comes out from Sky Sports, and they're saying right here that Manchester United want Liam Delap, Cunha, plus one of Mbeumo or Semenyo. Semenyo is favoured more than Mbeumo on Manchester United's target list right now, which kind of surprises me actually from Sky, because I've always got the feeling that maybe Mbeumo is favoured because other sources have linked us probably more to Mbeumo than Semenyo, but I do know we are keeping an eye on Semenyo. We know the focus is Delap and Cunha, but if we do get Champions League football, Delap could very much switch to Gyökeres if we believe Gyökeres is plausible. But what I really like is that United want Delap and Cunha plus one of them, Mbeumo and Semenyo. Man United know attack's a real issue. Man United know we've underperformed in attack. And they're not stopping at 2 attackers. They're going for 3. They're going Mbeumo, Cunha. They're going for 3. We're also looking at midfielder. We're also looking at another centre-back. I assume Ahmad will go right wing back if there's 3 attacking additions in, because we don't seem to be looking at wing backs. I know there was some links to Roger Fernandez and Frimpong, but they weren't. There's really not much in that. Potentially, we look at a goalkeeper if Onana goes. There was obviously reports coming out a couple of days ago that Onana's asked his agent to speak to Saudi. He's open to a move to Saudi. And maybe we'll hear something on the goalkeeper situation there. But I'm going to say this. I do think that Mbeumo is better than Semenyo. For me, Cunha and Mbeumo, Delap, very good. Cunha, Delap, Semenyo, decent. But I do think Mbeumo is better than Semenyo. Semenyo can be a little bit wasteful at times. Even though he's got good ball strike, he can be a little bit wasteful at times. I think in terms of output, Mbeumo is better. I think in terms of maybe versatility and in terms of athleticism, maybe Semenyo could be a better fit. But if we're looking for pure output, I do think Mbeumo is the better option. And I think output is what we've lacked. But they're saying Delap, Cunha plus one of Mbeumo and Semenyo, which has kind of shocked me because I've always assumed it would be 2 attacking additions, a midfielder, a centre-back, and we see. But I like that United are ambitious and looking for a 3rd attacker. The only thing is I look at it and I go, we could have Liam Delap, Højlund, and Xerxes that can all play striker. Cunha and Mbeumo also have the versatility to play striker. Left 10, you've got Cunha, Mason Mount, and Garnacho that can play there, and Kobbie Mainoo. Right 10, you've got Mbeumo, Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes, and Xerxes, and even Garnacho that can play there. Would be almost be 2 stacked in attack. I assume Højlund would go, and maybe Garnacho would go. Should we do that though? But I like the idea. Let's continue on. As Everyday MUFC 2 said here, and I completely agree with it, I think signing Mbeumo alongside Cunha will be a huge statement. Mbeumo guarantees goals in all areas. He can manipulate space versus a settled defence, one-touch finishes in the box, isolate in 1v1, and he can whip it to the far post, drag it back to the near post, excels in transitions too. Having Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo in this team would be a massive support for the centre-forward. Imagine Mbeumo right 10, Cunha left 10, Bruno deeper, Ahmad is a right wing back. The striker would have service. Maybe Højlund would become good all of a sudden. Xerxes, with those kind of runners and ability around him, I think would be phenomenal. Liam Delap has the players around him to potentially thrive. I think this would be incredible. I think this would be huge. I think this would be amazing and crazy at Manchester United. This is what we need, plus a progressive centre midfielder, plus probably another centre-back for depth because of the injury issues we have at the back. Continuing on into what the Mail Sports said, they also confirmed we've inquired about Mbeumo. They also said United see Mbeumo as an option for one of the two 10 roles. They looked at Eze and Simmons. So what I mean about Mbeumo Semenyo is some sources are saying we like Semenyo, some sources are saying we like Mbeumo. Now, it was reported last week by The Telegraph, it was reported on Sunday by The Telegraph that we're interested in Mbeumo, we are very interested in Mbeumo, and it's independent of Cunha. I've always thought it would be one of Cunha and Mbeumo, but there's more and more sources and suggestions that United are looking at both Cunha and Mbeumo and Delap, and they're looking at quite a bit. Maybe United also anticipate that there will be a sale for Rashford, Antony, Malacia, Sancho. If they go, we've got more funds. If we get Champions League, we've got more funds. I do think winning the Europa League and who we sell will have a factor on what we can do massively. I do think, Rashford will be pure profit. They could potentially cash in on Garnacho. And I know Garnacho should have scored yesterday, and I know Garnacho missed a sitter, but I still think there's a top player in Garnacho. Continuing on. Cunha is prioritising a move to United. He already told the club he wants to join. He's not concerned about Champions League. United is still confident to get the deal done. We've informed Cunha will trigger his release clause. There will be more discussions in the coming days. So this is tweeted out by United Red Report from what United Muppeteers had said in their video. Now, United Muppeteers, make sure you go check them out on YouTube and Twitter. They get good information around the club. They go into a lot of detail in their live streams. They have a lot of exclusive information. So make sure you go check out their full stream. But what they've basically said in their stream is that Cunha is prioritising United. He's told the club he wants to join. It doesn't matter about Champions League football. He's not waiting to see if we win the Europa League. And United, despite these Arsenal rumours that have been going about and Newcastle's interest, United are quite confident they get it done. And, apparently we're going to trigger his release clause in the coming days. Apparently, in a few days' time, we're going to trigger his release clause, which will pretty much get the deal done. And to be honest, Arsenal made approach for Cunha a couple of days ago. Looks like Cunha's rejected Arsenal for Man United. A few people were worried about Arsenal's approach. But if Cunha right now today still told Man United he wants to join, still looking at Man United, it looks like he's probably said no to Arsenal. And maybe he has got his heart set on Man United, which is crazy. But Arsenal might be better than us in the league, but they can't win trophies like us. So can you blame Cunha? But it looks like he's probably going to reject Arsenal for Manchester United, or maybe he already has done. Continuing into a couple other stories, Sky Sports Lille and a couple other people have spoken about Juan Hernandez, who has a 5 million release clause, a young winger that Man United and Chelsea are following. Chelsea youngsters, of course, they're going to be in there, which could be one to watch. We've talked about Bivol and Ineos and how they like doing things for the academy. We've obviously got Diego Leon, who's coming in June. We've got Saku Kone, Chido, Aiden Heaven. We do like to make those academy signings where they're top academy players that can maybe push the first team. So this has Viv all over it. And look, Barcelona's talent is crazy. I'm not going to act like I know loads about Juan Hernandez, but this is one I'm going to watch. Again, 17-year-old winger for Barcelona. I mean, look, if he's anything like Lamine Yamal, which I doubt he's that good, let's be honest, I'm all for it. I'm all for it if we can get the next Lamine Yamal from Barcelona. And then I wanted to quickly have a conversation about Casemiro, because I saw this from Charlie on Twitter. Should we talk about Casemiro's resurgence? Seems remarkable to go from where he was at the end of the season to where he is now. Talk about character, mentality, determination. Not easy for him after all the criticism he's received. One of the best United players this season. And he's absolutely right. Casemiro, the way he's turned his career around these last 6 months is crazy. 3-4 months ago, he was done at United. He was finished. He wasn't even getting minutes. I thought, surely he's got to go. And these last 3 months, he's been unbelievable. I mean, he was good when Ruben Nistelrooy came and dropped off a bit when Amorim came in, but he looks fitter. He looks faster. Ruben Amorim's made a few adaptations. We're not asking him to do this or that. But he's been so good. He's been such a leader and a warrior for us, Casemiro. And, I think you can never doubt his mentality. When you win as many Champions Leagues as Casemiro, you can never doubt his mentality. When Jamie Carragher's saying, I leave football before it leaves you, and Casemiro responds like that. And yeah, I wanted to quickly also talk about Antony, because the Real Betis president keeps saying, to get Antony, it'll be complicated. We need Man United to extend the loan. Real Betis keep playing the victim that they really want Antony. They need to get Antony, but it's only possible if they can do a loan deal and United include a loan deal, this and that. Antony scored the goal and got the assist to get you in a European final. Antony has taken you from 10th to 1 point off top 4. You can afford Anthony because the money you're going to get for being in Europe next season, thanks to Anthony, can easily pay off that fees. He would take a wage cut to join you. Stop pretending that you can only get Anthony if it's on loan and that you're broken, that you're poor, so you can mug Man United off for another loan deal. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.